guys, welcome back. I thought I would do something a little bit fun this week, and I want to try to reconnect with myself again. We're kind of like reconnect with my inner child, my younger self. I think having a daughter, I've started to really hone in on what it means to play and discover new things and see the world with new eyes. And I've been craving this sense of play in my life a little bit more. I feel like we get so caught up in our day-to-day and the motions that we feel like we don't have time to reconnect with ourselves. We don't have time to play. We don't have time to do things and have fun just to have fun. We always have to either try to monetize it, or it like has to become a whole part of our personality. And it really has to become this like all or nothing thing, instead of just letting yourself try new things, have fun. If you don't like it, you don't like it, you move on to something else, and just like enjoying the process of trying new things and reconnecting with yourself. So I created a little bit of a list of things that I want to try to do this week. I'm going to try to do one thing a day, and today, after I've just read the book Artist Way, is going to be journaling. I'm going to pick up journaling, and I feel like I've kind of journaled in the past, but I journaled more from the perspective of like prayer in a way, like talking to someone or writing to someone. But I kind of want to start journaling the way the Artist Way recommends. So I'm starting the Artist Way, and it's broken down into like weeks. So right now we are on week 1. Recovering a sense of safety, which I feel like is kind of on theme for this video, like reconnecting with myself, finding a sense of safety. I think it all goes hand in hand. But if you haven't read The Artist Way, week 1 recommends journaling every single morning, kind of like having a brain dump and journaling at least 3 pages, which if you've never tried that, it can be very difficult at first because you're like, what do I write about? Do I just write out my to-do list? And I started this morning and I was absolutely shocked how much came out of me and how creative I felt afterwards. And it was honestly so therapeutic. I also just have to take a moment to share this little custom journal. It is so cute. It has like these little charms on it. The brand is called Anthology. I can link it below, but it's a completely custom journal, and it just has made my practice feel very romanticized. I think I'm really going to look forward to this every morning. Obviously, some mornings will be harder than others, especially being a mom and tending to a toddler, but I thought I would read some of the pages that I wrote this morning because you guys, I'm surprised how deep I got. Lately, I've been craving coming back to my inner child. I want to learn new things and play and be creative. I think we've lost that. We no longer seek to know more and try new things. Every day, we must move through the motions instead of asking, what do I want to do today? What do I want to learn? What do I want to play with? Every day, a child wakes up and asks, what can I play with today? A child wakes up every day with the intention of play, having fun, loving, and being loved. And the world takes that away. It is our purpose to find it again, to have the eyes and heart of a child who wakes up ready to play and love. So that's just a little snippet, but I've been really loving this journaling practice. I feel like it's making me think a little bit deeper. It is really helping me come back to myself and process the emotions that I think I hold in. If you're anything like me, you wake up and you immediately go to your to-do list for the day and you just start like nonstop thinking. All the tabs start opening all at once. I think this has really helped me so far kind of come back to myself and recompartmentalize my thoughts. The second thing for this week is taking your artist on a date. So taking your creative self on a solo date. And that really depends on what it looks like for you and what your needs are. It could be going to a movie alone, going to a museum, maybe going to a pottery class or a painting class. So I thought I would do that today. I thought I would take myself on a little artist date. Honestly, I've been an extreme homebody lately. I really have not gotten out of the house, and I just want to take myself on a solo coffee date. One of my favorite things to do is go to new cafes and just like sit there and really soak up the ambiance. I actually forgot my headphones today, and I feel like it's a blessing in disguise because I feel like when you have your headphones in, you are tuning out the world, and I kind of want to tune into what's happening around me. I'm going to bring my journal and do a little bit of journaling and just kind of enjoy this little solo moment with myself in peace and quiet, and like really savor my coffee. I feel like that's something I take for granted every morning. I'm such a creature of habit. I press that Nespresso button and I like chug down my coffee without even tasting it in the morning. So I'm gonna order myself a nice little latte or flat white and just savor it and really just kind of have like a meditative experience and see what comes to me. So I'm excited to bring you guys along on this little week of trying new things. I have some fun stuff planned, but I'll save it for the rest of the video. For now, we're gonna go pop into this cute little cafe I found. So something that has been on my mind a lot lately has been wanting to learn more, and I don't know what it is. I feel like as we get older, we just crave learning and developing ourselves so much more than when we were in college. Like when I was in college, obviously I was just trying to pass and get a degree and go get on with my life. But now that I am older and I feel like I have so many more interests and I just crave a deeper understanding and deeper thinking on things. So today we're gonna go to the library, and obviously going to the library isn't anything new or trying something new, but I feel like when it comes to reconnecting with yourself, there is something about like leaning into things that you crave wanting to know more about. So for example, the more that I've gotten into sharing my life online, posting more on social media, and doing content full time, the more I've become so interested in the whole idea around videography and photography. And like, I know posting on social media isn't that deep, but for me, it's something that's very creative, and I've never taken a photography class. I've never taken a videography class, and I really want to learn more about the design principles. Yes, I've like been an art director in my past life, and I've been a graphic designer, but I feel like even when you have those real world experiences, you kind of get stuck in your ways, and I just want to find a way to feel inspired again, kind of come back to developing myself and learning a lot more about the principles of art and design so that I can be more creative and feel more empowered in my creativity. But I feel like a lot of times we get so stuck in our career paths or what we've always been doing and what we've always been like good at, that we don't think about like we can learn something new whenever we want. I had someone recently ask me how I got into graphic design and art direction, and I literally taught myself. Like, I went on Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and like downloaded the free trial, and I like did all the tutorials. And there's no reason that whatever you have a little bit of an interest in that you can't learn about. Like, okay, maybe if you want to become a doctor, that's, you know, several years worth of learning and investment. But if you want to learn photography, if you want to pick up needlepoint, like there's no reason that you can't educate yourself and teach yourself how to do it. And also, I think even if it is something that you're good at or you've always been drawn to, there's no reason that you kind of can't go back to the basics. I am going to see if I can find some design books, like art direction type of books, maybe like color theory, like principles of art, things like that, that I remember learning in college that I thought was so boring, but there's actually a lot of science and visual understanding to it. And I just feel like I kind of want to come back to that and like simplify everything. I also feel like we just overcomplicate everything as humans. Like, we think that everything has to be so hard and so deep, when I don't think it really does. Like, I think coming back to the simple way of doing things and just like understanding the basics can help so much in constantly like thinking about how we're developing ourselves and really investing in our interests. Yeah, we're gonna go check out some books and see what we can find. Okay, that was actually really challenging to navigate. I went to our largest library here in Denver, and it's like, I think it's like 7 stories. And I was finding that a lot of the books were very, very old, from like the 90s or so, which is fine, but I feel like with art and design, you kind of want something that feels a little bit more current and trendy. I think I might have to do some searching on their online catalog and like reserve some books. But it's just kind of funny how we're so used to just being able to find things so quick and easily online, and actually having to like go and search in person. It's just a lot more time consuming. But these are the books that I found that I thought were just kind of interesting. The Chanel sketchbooks, so stunning. So I'm excited to go through this one. And then the AIGA, so the American Institute of Graphic Arts, puts out a book. They also have a website, which I guess I could also do that and go look at like some online art and design websites. But I got this book to kind of just like peruse and get inspired by different design. I really wanted to find some photography books, like Principles of Photography or something, and I just think I was in the wrong section because I couldn't find anything other than like biographies on photographers, or just like really random like photography of Japanese art or something. I was just like kind of not exactly what I was looking for. So I think I'm just gonna have to go online and find some things, but it was kind of nice to just like peruse through the library and get inspired and just kind of like look through some books. So I'm probably gonna see what I can find online later today, because I still really want to invest in educating myself a little bit more on art, design, and photography.
This
This is vitamin C.
vitamin C.
Vitamin C. PC doesn't need vitamin C.
No PC vitamin
Yeah, he doesn't need vitamin
C.
I got a photography book. Ooh, it's a watering can. Good morning. It's a little chilly in Denver today. I think it is 34 degrees right now. So I thought we would kind of come back to doing something that I don't think I've ever shared, but I used to be an illustrator and a graphic artist at Whole Foods. So if you used to shop at Whole Foods, there was all of these chalk paintings, chalk art throughout the store. So I used to do a lot of painting. And if you guys have seen my living room, I painted that massive painting in there. So I was thinking this morning, since it's kind of chilly outside, that I would do a painting for our bedroom. I kind of did a little bit of a painting in one of my recent videos, just kind of for fun, playing around. And I kind of want to get back to it. I want to create something for above our bed. I'm not quite sure what I want to paint, but I'll probably scroll on Pinterest and get some ideas. But I feel like that's such a fun way to be creative and have fun without any pressure around how something looks. Also, I feel like it's pretty expensive to buy a painting or buy a print or artwork for your home. And like, yes, you're supporting an artist, which is great, but there's something really special about creating your own artwork for your home. It has more meaning. It feels a lot more special. For me personally, painting is such a form of expression because I just like put on a playlist. I feel like I can get my hands messy. I try not to go in with any really preconceived idea of what something's going to look like, really just kind of like letting the creativity flow and letting your hands flow on the canvas. I feel like it is so therapeutic and kind of feels like you're coming back to your inner child. I don't know if you guys remember when we were kids, of like painting with our hands and just kind of like throwing color on paper for fun. I feel like so many people are afraid of painting because they feel like they need to be really good at it. But one of the best things about painting or even drawing is just kind of like the creative expression of it. Also, if you paint a canvas, there's no reason you can't paint over it with white and just like paint something new. I do that all the time with artwork around my home. So we're gonna do that today. I'll show you guys what I am thinking in our bedroom. So this is the painting that I did recently. It's very cute, but it's kind of minimal. I'm also not sure I'm jazzed about the blue and green. So I think we're gonna paint over it and we are going to put it, don't mind the laundry, we're gonna put it up right above our bed. And since the wall is gray, I'm feeling like there needs to be some negative space, maybe some white with like black and gray. Maybe I'll do kind of more like a black and white kind of vibe. I'm not quite sure yet, but I think it'll be fun. I'm kind of over this wall being so bare. We really haven't decorated our bedroom much, and I think it'll just look so good above the bed. Okay, while we wait for the base of my painting to dry, I thought we would make some sourdough. I know it may seem like I've always been the girl with a million hobbies, but I haven't always enjoyed the process of trying new things. I used to have a very limited mindset, and I actually didn't realize this until I started going to therapy, and my therapist brought up something called an all or nothing mindset. So for example, if I wasn't good at something at first, then I wouldn't even bother trying at all. And that was actually my experience with sourdough at first. And I didn't really realize how much that was keeping me from creating new experiences and having new passions in life. But over the past few years, especially since becoming a new mom, I've really had to let go of that mentality. And honestly, having someone to talk things through has really helped me see things so much differently. So I want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. I have done therapy for so many years, and now that I'm a busy mom, I appreciate how BetterHelp just makes therapy feel so approachable. You can take a quick quiz and get matched with a licensed therapist quickly, and even switch at any time if it's not the right fit. It's just made having that extra support feel so much easier without having to leave my home. And I feel like having a fresh outside perspective has helped me realize that progress doesn't require perfection. You don't have to be good at something for you to just simply enjoy it. If you've been wanting to try therapy, you can go to link in my description or go to betterhelp.com/Victoria Morse for 10% off your first month. It's funny, I feel like with all of the sourdough content I post about, you would think I've been doing this for years and I've become so good at it, but sourdough as a hobby has definitely been a lot of trial and error, and I feel like I've finally figured it out. I gave up for a little while because it was one of those things that I feel like I could just not figure out and get the hang of, and it's definitely something that you might fail quite a bit in the beginning, but just knowing that that's part of the journey and you can have fun and your bread may not look as beautiful as you think it will, but I promise you it will not taste that bad, and everything that you do always gets better with practice. So this is one of those things that I'm glad I didn't give up on, because now I make some pretty killer bread. So we're gonna let this sit for a few hours. I'm gonna look up some more inspo on what I want to paint. I think I kind of want to do more of like an illustrative kind of sketchy vibe, but I kind of want it also to fit in with our bedding. So we'll see. I found this artist that I was really inspired by called Bonnie Gray, I believe. Her artwork is stunning, so I'm gonna kind of use her as inspiration, I think, for what I want to do in our bedroom. Okay, so here is how my little painting turned out. I think it's fun. I think it was just fun to kind of let loose and see where my creativity took me. It says in kind of like a light white, I don't know if I can see it on the camera, but it says the sweetness of doing nothing. Feels kind of like fun and maybe like a little chaotic, but also kind of calm at the same time. So I think it'll look fun above our bed, and if I get sick of it, I can just paint another one. This was like a fun little activity for today. Kind of felt like I was just a little kid playing with, colored pencils and paper. So highly recommend adding painting to something that you should try. I feel like it truly is such a fun way to kind of reconnect with yourself and your inner child. Today we are going to do something that I have wanted to do for such a long time, especially since we've lived in this house. And as you guys know, I've been doing our backyard renovation because I want to finally have a garden. I admit I do not have a green thumb whatsoever, but just because I've killed a few plants in my lifetime doesn't mean that I can't continue to make gardening a hobby and try to grow some things. So I'm really excited. I went and got a lot of fun vegetables and fruit and herbs, and I'm so excited to start growing a little bit of a garden. I also noticed I've been struggling to water our plants with my teeny tiny little watering can, so I found this one from Amazon that's like 1.25 gallons or something, but it's really cute, and I think it'll make mornings watering the garden a little bit more enjoyable. I feel like that's where I struggle, is remembering to water the garden, and I want it to be a part of my morning routine of like waking up, making coffee, filling this thing up, and watering the plants every morning. It just seems like really relaxing and gets me outside, gets me off of any technology. So excited for this little hobby. I hope it goes well. We'll see. I think it's supposed to snow next weekend, but I'm like, I don't know what I would do with the plants. So hopefully that doesn't kill them. We might be planting new plants in like 2 weeks. We'll see. We're gonna have fun. I'm excited to start this little hobby. It just seems very rewarding, and there's nothing like being able to grow your own fruits and vegetables, even if it's like a little bit. So let's get some gardening on. And this is gonna be very much an urban garden because we're gonna put our plants in here. I got some dirt. We got our little plants ready to go. So excited. They're so cute. I will share what I got once I plant them, but let's see if we can get these planted first. Okay, I'm so happy with how our garden is turning out. I did run out of dirt. I did run out of planter mix for one of the boxes, so I'll have to run to the store and get some more. But so far, I think it's looking really cute. So here's what we got in our planters so far. We have some basil, because Peasy loves pesto, some cilantro, some arugula, and lettuce in this smaller planter. And then up in this bigger planter, which got to go back and get some more dirt for, I have a zucchini, strawberries, some blackberries, and then I'm obsessed with the like little yellow cherry tomatoes, so that's what these will be. We have some sugar snap peas, because these grow pretty well in Colorado, and then some chives. So still need to plant those, but I am so happy with how our little garden is turning out. It looks so cute. Oh, and then I also have a jalapeno and some thyme. But yeah, this area is so cute, and it's pretty much done. Now we just kind of need some patio furniture out here, but hopefully I can do my best to keep most of these little plants alive this spring and summer. So today Denver had a massive vintage thrifting market, so I thought that'd be fun to go to. and I feel like it's kind of working my thrifting muscle. I know I've mentioned in previous videos that thrifting is something that I feel like I've always really struggled with. It's always something that's caused me a lot of anxiety. So I thought today's activity for trying something new would be thrifting. Thrifting's something that I always feel like I've been very adamantly against because it takes a lot of time. Like you kind of have to be a little intentional with when you're looking for things. Like sometimes you can go into it with having something in mind, but I feel like just having an open mind and seeing like what you can find is the best way to thrift. And I've always had this mentality that I'm not a thrifter, and because I've told myself this, I've never actually tried thrifting. So if it's something you too where you're like, no, I just can't thrift, I'd rather shop online, or I'd rather go to my dedicated stores that I usually go to, I highly recommend trying thrifting and keeping an open mind, going in with like no idea of what you're gonna find, but kind of just have a little bit of an eye for noticing what kind of pops out to you. I also feel like when you have an appreciation for the people who find items, like these are all vintage and like personal thrift shops, it made me have a little bit more of an appreciation for some of the people that curate things and put things together. It's kind of like finding artwork. Like if you're someone who owns a gallery and you're kind of like finding the right artwork for your gallery, I feel like it's the same thing for people that own vintage thrift shops. Anyway, it kind of just gave me a new appreciation, and I kind of forced myself to find some things. I feel like every time I go thrifting, I don't know why, I'm like afraid to buy stuff. Probably because I'm afraid that it like might not fit right, or I can't return it because we're just so used to being able to return anything and everything. But anyway, I actually had a lot of fun, and I feel like the more I thrift and the more I practice at it and do it, the more I actually end up finding things, and I feel like I get out of my style and comfort zone, and I think it just helps me expand my style a little bit more. So here are a few things that I found. I've been very into the 90s butter mom aesthetic this summer. I mean, I feel like I've always dressed a lot like the 90s and been kind of drawn to 90s fashion, so I feel like these items definitely remind me of the 90s. First is this vintage chambray kind of vest. Also, obviously this is denim, and most denim is natural materials, but I do feel like when you're thrifting or finding vintage pieces, you're more likely to find natural materials. I feel like everything that I found today, I was like, oh, this is 100% cotton, or this is 100% wool, versus if you're shopping Target, Amazon, all of these places, you're finding clothing that's not made of natural materials, which ends up being really hard to get rid of when it ends up in landfills down the road. Like it's just all of our non-natural clothing is not doing us any favors from an environmental standpoint, but then also the fabric that you're putting on your skin. So personally, I'm just trying to be a little bit more aware of the fabrics that I'm buying from here on out. I feel like it makes such a difference, and they last a lot longer. Then this other top that I found, I feel like is also very 90s coded. Just a simple short sleeve button down with this adorable kind of, I don't know, it kind of looks like a purple strawberry or something, but I thought these are both very darling for summer, very lightweight, and kind of lean into that 90s butter mom aesthetic for the summer. And then they had a lot of makers there too, not necessarily vintage or thrifty, but just like local artists. And I found this colander that has these giant polka dots on it, and as you guys know, I started my garden. I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to harvest some blackberries and strawberries, and then being able to like sit them out on the counter in this, I think is just so cute, and obviously love supporting local artists. So found some really fun pieces. I also ended up finding some little planter signs for my garden that were also made by this artist. So some fun finds. I feel like today really reminded me how much I need to stop over consuming at places like Target and Amazon and really be a lot more intentional about collecting things. I listened to a podcast recently that Peyton Sarton put on. She does the Note to Self podcast, and I think the podcast title was like curating your life or something, and it really hit home with me because I feel like we are so quick to like buy and overconsume and just get things that are easy and convenient versus slowly curating clothing or things in our home that really speak to us or have maybe a story to them or are something that has been used before. And I feel like I want to try to be a lot more intentional when it comes to things like this, clothing that feels more intentional. It feels more curated to my life and my style and what I like versus just getting things because it is trendy or it's a name brand or maybe because I need something in the moment or I'm like super influenced. I don't know. But I hope this video gave you guys some fun ideas. If you are also wanting to reconnect with yourself, if you're wanting to try new things, I feel like I could have done this video for a month, like a month of trying new things. And there's so many things I wanted to get to, like scrapbooking I want to try. I want to get back into embroidery. Obviously, you guys know I love knitting. I feel like that really has become a lost art of just trying new things just for the fun of it. And I hope this video inspired you. If you want a part 2, let me know of like maybe different ideas and different things that we can try. I'm also open to any suggestions. So if you have any things that you have tried recently that you absolutely love and now you're addicted to it, I would love to know. I'm always looking to try new things, try new hobbies. And I feel like we need to remember that it's okay to try something new and not finish it. I didn't really touch on that in this video, but I feel like that's a very common thing where a lot of times we're afraid to try something because if we don't like it or if we're not good at it, then we'll just give up. And I feel like shifting our mentality to just like, hey, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna see if I like it. I'm gonna do it just for fun. And if it's something that I don't stick with, like that's totally okay. Like I used to force myself to finish books just to say that I finished it, even though I wasn't actually enjoying the book. When in reality, like I wasn't winning an award for finishing a book. I was really just like wasting my time. So it's okay if you try something new, if you try knitting, if you try painting, if you try gardening and you're like, you know what, this is not really for me, like that's totally okay. Move on to the next thing. I think it's more important to just keep pushing ourselves to do something that may feel a little uncomfortable, to try something new, to reconnect with ourselves and discover maybe a new passion or a new hobby or something that we didn't even realize we could actually be pretty good at. Anyway, I'm gonna finish off the video here. Let me know if you guys try out any of the things I recommended in this video or how you're reconnecting with yourself. I hope it inspired you and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.